This is part 2 of my video on how to manage stress when you're living with a chronic health condition, or in my case, an autoimmune disease. If you haven't seen part 1, you should go and check it out. It's about the relationship between stress and lupus, how stress plays into both getting lupus and keeping lupus going. Today, we're going to talk about what you can do to manage your stress, to deal with lupus symptoms a little bit better, and I'll share with you some of the things that I've been doing. Hi, I'm Natalie. I make videos about health, wellness, and eco-friendly living. If this is your first time here, welcome. I drop videos every Monday, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. While stress itself does not cause lupus, the Lupus Foundation of America and the CDC both agree that emotional stress have been linked to triggering lupus flare-ups. If you're struggling with lupus flares, there are lots of things that you can do to help eliminate or reduce them. And one of them is definitely an awareness of where you are with your stress level. In other words, what are the things that are happening in your life right now that are causing you chronic stress? And what are you doing to reduce or eliminate those things from your life? There are lots of other things you can do, like removing foods that trigger the body. And I have lots of videos on this channel about that, and I can attach them here. There are mental health things that you can do. There's obviously medication things that you can do with your doctor. But if you're not taking care of your emotional well-being, the wellness and non-tangible part of the illness, if you're not managing that, then that will cause you to stumble and to have symptoms and to become more sick. And that can be painful, especially if you're not even aware of what it is that you're doing that's causing you to constantly have these flare-ups. It can make you feel overwhelmed and a little bit defeated. I'm one of those people that believes that everybody needs therapy, but I know not everyone has those feelings. But I honestly don't know how a person can go through something that's traumatic and not need therapy, because suffering from a chronic, illness that is life-threatening is not something that most people have to do. So I think when you go through something that severe, it's important to have a support system, whether that support system be a therapist or friends or family, just, a place where you feel seen and you're able to troubleshoot through those things. And family and friends are great, but they're not professionals, and they're not going to be able to give you an objective view into what's going on. And more importantly, actual strategies, like tools that you can utilize to better manage your stress. Living with lupus can cause stress, and it can make managing your illness even more challenging. Not being able to recognize when you're under a lot of stress is not good. We should all constantly be self-monitoring to see how we are doing with life and how we're doing inside of our bodies. Not just physically what symptoms are we having, but emotionally, how are we doing? How are we feeling? And how are we taking care of our emotional well-being? That should be a regular part of living with a chronic illness, because that part can affect everything else. It can affect the effectiveness of everything else, or it can make everything else a lot more difficult to manage. Some common symptoms associated with stress are not being able to sleep regularly. If you notice a drastic change with your sleep schedule, that should make you concerned that something else is going on. If you have a hard time shutting your brain off because you're constantly thinking about things and ruminating, and by ruminating, I mean you're thinking about the same things over and over and over again. You can't let things go. You're looking at the same thing a million different ways, and it's not really going anywhere. You're ruminating, that's what that is. Those types of habits that go on in your brain are not helping you feel better. So if you notice that going on in your brain, then you know you're not in a good space. If you're having a hard time focusing, a lot of people suddenly they can't be as productive because focus is harder. That's a telltale sign. If you find that you're worried all the time, things that aren't that stressful, you have dramatic responses to them. You're just really concerned and really worried about every little thing, then that's an indication that your stress or your emotional well-being may not be in the best place. Oftentimes when we are sad or overwhelmed, anger is what we're allowed to feel. So if you notice you're snapping at people left and right and you're angry all the time and you don't know why, you're just angry, that's an indication that emotionally you're not in the right headspace, because there's no reason for you to be that mad all the time. Besides, it's not good for your heart or your blood pressure anyway. So, woosah. You gotta get yourself to calm down and take better care of yourself. Here are some things that I have done to help me with managing my stress so I'm not, overwhelmed by my day-to-day. Is number one, recognizing the things that are causing me distress and reducing and eliminating them if I am able to. I'm very attuned to how I am feeling. So if something is happening that does not make me feel good, I will remove myself from it if I can. If it's bringing me stress and it's not enhancing the quality of my life, snip, gotta go. I'm not dealing with it, period. That simple habit of recognizing how am I feeling in this moment and how is this experience making me feel, and whether this is an experience that I need in my life, like really thinking about things on that wavelength has done a great deal to reveal to myself like the things that I need and the things that I don't need in my life. A huge plus. Obviously, there are things in life that we have to deal with that are stressful that we can't help. A big part of reducing the stress for me has been planning ahead. I try to plan ahead as much as possible. I also have to-do lists where I'm able to write things down so I don't have to keep everything in my head. I use a scheduler so I'm able to keep myself organized. I tried using an electronic one. It wasn't working out so well. So now I use a hard copy one and that seems to work out well. So you have to figure out what works for you. I also make time to relax. I'm very, very particular and protective of my self-care time. You guys know I do a lot of things on this channel to talk about the things that I do to like make myself feel good. That's not an act. That's really me out here trying to survive. It's really important that I prioritize my health. And a lot of that is prioritizing soothing my body. So whether that is taking a bath, whether that is meditating, whether that is physical exercise, whatever I need to do so I can calm down, relax, I make that a priority. Whether it's like writing, drawing, doing yoga, watching a show, listening to calming music, anything creative, anything soothing, it brings me a great deal of pleasure and I fully am all about that. And I'm very protective of that time, so I don't just let anything and anyone interfere with that. I also eat healthy. I try to stick to my sleep routine, so I have a healthy sleep schedule. I try to keep my body moving and active and engaged with the flow of life. It's not easy living with a chronic health issue, so you have to come at it with a plan, and that plan has to be something that you can make work with your life, something that is sustainable for you long term and that doesn't break the bank. Little things here and there that you're incorporating, here and there to just create a more well-rounded life that is focused on wellness, on health, on just being like stable as much as possible, so that all the interventions that you're implementing with your doctor actually have a chance to be effective for your overall health. So what about you? Have you noticed the different ways that stress contributes to your symptoms in managing your health? And what are some of the things that you're doing to manage your stress now so that you can reduce the likelihood of getting more sick because of, poor stress management? Leave your comments in the box below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I drop videos every Mondays on health, wellness, and eco-friendly living. If you want to connect with me on social media, you can do so on Instagram and Facebook at styledunder25. And if you're looking to shop any of my sustainable fashion pieces, you can do so at styledunder.com. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Au revoir.